Good morning, Flosstube. Here I am, Jan Hicks, back again for day number 3 of Stitch Mania. Still excited, still having fun, and I hope you are too, and I hope you're enjoying our little talks together. Let's see. So yesterday I was working on the December pattern from Cross-Eyed Cricket. I didn't think to pull that out, so let me pull that out for you. So December, and I started here on the M. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of the M done, and I got started on the tree, got the little pot for the tree done. So really happy with my progress yesterday. This was a fun stitch. There's going to be some Krynic coming up here soon with some of the lights on the tree. There's a star on the tree that's Krynic. There's the lights strung around the M here that I think there may be some Krynic in. And then this little star right here is also Krynic. So, gonna have fun with that. I don't know whether I mentioned, I think I mentioned at some point on one of my videos that Teresa Vanette, I believe, talked about doing kind of an accumulating mania as well as new starts, and that's what I'm going to do as well. So the idea is every day, as well as starting something new, I'm also going to spend a little bit of time on all the previous day's projects. So I think 5 minutes on everything else. So yesterday I spent an additional 5 minutes on the linen and thread sampler. Today I will spend 5 minutes on the linen and thread sampler, 5 minutes additional on this, and also the rest of the time on my new start. So that'll help me to also move along on those other ones, instead of just putting them away for the rest of the month. So we'll see how that works. I know by the end of the month, 5 minutes on 30 projects is going to be kind of insane. We'll just have to see how it goes. Maybe it won't be a whole 5 minutes, but I'm going to see what I can do. So today's project is the Midsummer Garden by XG Designs. So that is this here. I fell in love with this a long time ago when I first, well, a long time ago considering I just started stitching again back last summer. A long time is relative, but when I saw this, when I first found XG Designs fabrics and I saw this on her Etsy store, I knew I had to have it at some point. So when I ordered fabric from her for my Memories in Chalk, a year in chalk, whatever, moments in chalk, one of those things. When I ordered the fabric for that, I went ahead and ordered this too. And I think it is just luscious. So the fabric is hers, of course. This is called Rocky Mountain. It is a 36 count. The kit also comes with her hand-dyed flosses, which are just stunning. This is Bright Leaves, which is what I'm starting with. Gray Wolf. Lavender Field, and these are showing up. They're a little bit brighter on the camera than they are in real life, but for the most part they're showing all the different variegations. Lady in Green, Wicker Basket, Buttermilk Cake, and Full Bloom. Isn't that a luscious purple? I know for those that don't like purple, they won't really care for it, but I think that is just a luscious color. So, let us get started and see where we go from here. So as before, I've started it a little bit already. I didn't mention yesterday, so I'll mention it today. Whenever I'm starting threads like this, when I don't have anything to anchor them under, I do, you've probably heard of an away waist knot. This isn't really an away waist knot in that I haven't knotted it. I just take the fabric or the fiber down through the fabric a little bit away. Like I know the leaf that I'm stitching here is coming down this way. So I kind of take it down through, past where my first stitches are going to be. So as I'm stitching this, I will be covering up the thread underneath, and then once I get down close to it, I'll just snip that off. So no knots to worry about, but also it gets caught, so I don't have to worry about that either. But because it is just laying across the back there like that, my first few stitches I do just do the stabbing method with, so that I can be sure and catch that thread. Oftentimes when I do the sewing method, I won't catch the thread. I don't know, my sewing method, it kind of goes underneath it sometimes, so it doesn't catch. So I just make sure the first few stitches that I just do the stab method, stab and poke and whatever it's called, just to make sure that I'm catching that thread underneath. I'm not nearly as good at stab and poke as I am at the sew method. And this one, because these flosses are fairly, oh for heaven's sakes, are fairly variegated, I am going to do one stitch at a time with these. And I am also going to go I'm going to start doing diagonal here. This needle feels like it must be a 26 instead of a 28. It's feeling a little bit thick going through the fabric. So I will be changing that out once I'm done with the video. So how are you guys today? Have you been enjoying Stitch Mania? I know some people are taking, part of it in all the different ways you can imagine. I described it to the friend that I do my exercise with in the mornings, what it is and what I'm doing, and she definitely falls into the camp of, why in the world would you want to start a new project every day and not finish something? That would drive me insane. So, I gave her my reasoning that I bumped you again, and I'm totally off screen. I hate how the camera works on these phones. The camera's the whole way over on the end. I just hate it. So I described to her my reasoning that, I have all these things just sitting in a bin. Why not at least put a few stitches in and enjoy that while I can? I don't think she really understood my reasoning at all. But that's okay, because we're all different and we handle things differently. You can see sometimes I'm doing the sewing method and sometimes I'm doing the stab and poke, because if I know the thread isn't actually over in that area that I need to catch, then I'll just do my regular sewing method, because stabbing and poking drives me crazy. Okay, so that three, and then down there. And you can see, well, let me pull that up through so you can actually see. You can see that I'm catching it a little bit. I need to make sure these next few stitches that get it on camera, there's still quite a bit here that's not caught, so I have to make sure and catch those as I'm coming across this next line. Yeah. So, my husband hasn't noticed yet that I'm working on totally different things than I had been. If you saw my, whoops, I went through the thread there. If you saw my post on Stitch Mania, where I said I wondered how long it was going to take him to notice, he hasn't yet. I almost showed him that post. I've gotten so many people commenting on it and liking it or whatever. I almost showed it to him last night, but I am going to wait a little bit before I do, to see how many days go by. If we've gone like a couple weeks and he hasn't noticed, then I'll definitely have to say something to him and show him the post so we can get a good laugh. Because that's the kind of thing. Did you like having my thumb right up against the camera like that, my hand? That's really a pleasant look, isn't it? I may try to, I probably can't edit that out because I'm talking in the midst of it, but sorry about that. So many things to be aware of when you're doing this. But anyways, Mike is very good about laughing at himself, and so he will get a good chuckle out of the fact that he totally didn't notice. Still haven't caught that very well. It's because I'm going up and down in a row. Let me cross over. And go this way. Alrighty, that will have to do. There's some more stitches coming up in the purple that I'll do there. I'm probably not going to cut that off yet. Usually, if I felt like I had caught it well enough on the back, and it is, there's just a little bit, it's just a little bit left there that I haven't caught. Do you see that? Usually, I would just go ahead and cut that off, but I think I'm going to leave it until I start the purple flower down below there. So I'm starting up in the left-hand corner on this one. Shoot, sorry about that. So I'm starting right here. So you can see that purple's coming down. So I'm probably going to work across here today and see how far I get. So let's see. Let me count here. One thing that is rather unwieldy about stitching in hand is having all this fabric. And I will probably at some point roll it up and clip it with hair clips is what I usually do. I have to be careful though, because sometimes when I roll it up and clip it with hair clips, it gets heavy enough. Just the weight, I try and use like little clips as much as possible, but sometimes the weight is enough that it causes even more of a problem just dragging down on the fabric, and that's kind of annoying too. So let's make sure 1, 2, and then, okay. So I was doing a little more window shopping this morning. On one of the cross stitch groups. Let's see, I think her name is Kate Livingston, Kate Worthington. She's the owner of Lakeside Needlecrafts in the UK. She had posted some pictures of some Russian charts that she had bought, and she shared the link. And it's called mybobbins.ru. So of course, a couple of them really interested in me, so of course I had to go and check them out. And the site's all in Russian. I couldn't tell I couldn't easily see if there was any place where, sometimes there's a button you can click on to translate the site into English, and I couldn't see anything that said that. Because the button will be in English so that that you can click on it. So it's kind of hard to tell what's what. I don't know whether it's a chart or a kit. I think they're all charts, but there was one there that I'm definitely going to get. I showed it to my son. Let me show a picture. I showed it to my son, who is my hippie son. See that? I said, would you be interested in having me stitch this for you? And he said, oh yeah, that's dope. That'd be cool. So, as anybody who has teenagers or young adults knows, dope is a good thing. So this is totally him. The other one I want to stitch for him, that I also got his approval, is this one, the chakras. I told him that once he gets his massage therapist license, I will stitch that for him to hang in his massage room. So I thought that was cool. And actually, you know, my kids have never really expressed an interest in my stitching or knitting at all. So just the fact that he thought that that was cool and that he'd like me to do it just gave me a little thrill. So that is Christmas, the start of Christmas for that one. I'll have to see if the other one... I like the chart, the hands-on design chart that says, oh whale, you know, as in the mammal whale, because my son said that to me a lot during those last 6 months of high school. So I want to do that, and if he doesn't want it, I'll hang it here because, yeah, it brings back such fond memories. And that was sarcasm. So let's see, what else happening? It's going to be another gorgeous day here. It's going up to 89 degrees here today. So we went from having the heat on to having the air conditioning on, which is, you know, how it is in this part of the world. And I know it. That's the way it is in a lot of parts of the world. I did yoga again this morning with my friend and then went out for a little walk before it got too hot. We're going to wait until, we're going to do yoga the rest of the week and wait until next week until she's kind of has her energy back. Other than that, not much happening here today besides stitching. I still haven't taken apart that sweater yet to redo it. I've got to start working on that, so hopefully today I will settle down enough to do that. If you didn't see, okay, that's those two leaves right there, so we're going to change out for some purple. If you didn't see, I have reached 1,000 subscribers on my channel, which thrills me to no end. You know something? It just occurred to me. That's why I don't like this. Shoot, I'm going to have to take this all out. I should be using one thread, not two, because this is 36 count, and I really don't like using two threads on 36 count. So, you can watch me unstitch now while I ramble on. I know that's not nearly as fun. Maybe I will, actually I'm going to pause this. We're at 17 minutes anyways. I'm going to pause this and I'll come back to you once I have it undone and restarted. Okay gang, I am back. I have taken out those leaves that I did with 2 strands and I replaced them with 1 strand, and yeah, they're looking much better. They were just too bulky. I don't like that look. This is a 36 count, and 36 is one you can go either way with 2 strands or 1 strand, or 1 strand. I just prefer the 2 strands better. So that makes me happier. Now I'm ready to start the purple, and this is that gorgeous purple full bloom with, oh goodness, I mean, look at the variegation in that. This is going to be so pretty. So what I'm working on next is this petal coming down here. And what I wanted to show you, I was going to go ahead and start, but I decided I would show you how I start and what happens with my little thingy hanging on here. So I'm going to, because my petal is growing down this way, and I could catch this under the green leaves, but I just don't want to because this is so much darker than the green. I'm just not comfortable with that, and this isn't a hard thing to do. So I just come down here someplace. There's not really any rhyme or reason. I know this is all going to be covered with stitches in here, and I just come down a length that I think is good and go ahead and pull that down through and just leave that little tail hanging up. Now the conundrum becomes, I always hope that I have put this thread in a place that I can start the next color in a place that's logical and catch that last bit of tail. Now I did a better job catching the tail here. I just have that little bit left. So it's not a big deal. Whoop, I just dropped my needle. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So it's not a big deal if I don't catch that little bit, but I would have liked to, but I have to make my next stitch. Goodness. I'm trying to get my needle up through. So my next stitch is coming. Oh, for heaven's sakes. If it can go wrong, it will, right? Oh, and look, I pulled my tail out. Hold on. I just said it's not hard, and then look at all this that's happening. Okay, so I go down through there. I have to make my first stitch. Here. So I would be going down and going right into the hole where that green is. See that? So I wouldn't be catching anything by doing that. So I am just going to snip that off. And what I do is I just pull up on it, and this is going to be a little bit hard to do on camera so you can see it with all these other things going on. I just pull up on it, give it a little tug, and snip it off, and then it just releases and goes down through the fabric. Alright, so now I can make my stitch. And I just pulled that stupid thing out again. How about if we hold on to it? It really isn't a hard thing to do. I'm just trying to do it around apparatus and on screen and make sure you can see and all that. Okay. So, and again, the first few stitches I will be doing stabbing and poking so I can make sure and catch that purple thread. So I had started to say, before I realized my boo-boo before, that if you watch my other videos, you will have seen, and if you caught the special one that I did yesterday evening, you will have seen that I reached 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And I am thrilled beyond words with that. I just really can't believe there's that many people that are interested in what I have to say. But that's cool. And I hope to grow this community even more. I think I'm having a ton of fun with this. So what I have done is put up a video talking about a share the love that I'm doing. I have a couple different gifts that you can enter to win. So if you are interested in that, one is for knitters and one is for stitchers. So if you are interested in that, I invite you to find my video from yesterday evening. It's called Flosstube 1,000 subscribers share the love, I think is what I titled it, but it's easy to find if you're on my channel. So I think I am going to end this here. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Hopefully I will have some progress to show you on this, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Oh, let's talk about what tomorrow's project is. Let's see what we have in store tomorrow. So since I've done 2 new starts in a row here, tomorrow's project should be a whip. Come on. My computer or my iPad does not want to respond to me. So tomorrow I am going back to a work in progress that I know you haven't seen, that I haven't touched in a while. It's a kit. It's called Colorful Deer, and oh, I'm using Ada on this, so it's been a while since I've worked on this. So it is this pretty guy. This is what I'll be working on tomorrow. this is what I have done so far. I was having fun with this. Like I've said before, I don't particularly care for Ada, but this came in a kit. I think it's going to be really pretty when it's done. So, anyway, I will see you guys mañana. Have a great day and happy stitching.